Hello ladies and gentlemen, today we are solving LeetCode question 41. First missing positive. Given an unsorted integer array nums, return the smallest positive integer that is not present in nums. You must implement an algorithm that runs in O of n time and uses O of 1 auxiliary space. So first off, some things I noticed off this question is that our answer would have to be in the range of 1 to length of nums plus 1 because of the restriction that it is the smallest positive integer. So it has to start from 1 and increment by 1 until the length of nums. And you can see, like in these examples, the answers are always within this range regardless of what this is. So how we can solve this problem is first by getting rid of all the non-positive elements. So we need to first clean the non-positive elements, and that's because those non-positive elements have nothing to do with our answer, so there's no point in even bothering with them. We have to get rid of them. So first we have to clean those non-positive elements, and this question is quite similar to the other question we were solving. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was this one, where you store metadata within the list itself to have all one space. And we need to do the same thing here. We need to store metadata in the original input list. So we could do this by using negative numbers, just like the question we solved yesterday. When we come across a element, we will find its corresponding index and make it negative. And since we first cleaned all the non-positive elements, we know that when we do come across a negative number now, it's a negative number that we've assigned, and that tells us that we've seen this element. And that brings us to our next step. After we flip all the seen numbers into negatives, we just find the first positive number and return as our answer. And if all numbers are negative, then we will just return the last possible answer. And like we said, the answer has to be in the range of 1 to length of nums plus 1, so the last possible answer would be length of nums plus 1. So the runtime is O of n, and the space is O of 1, like the question requires us to do. So let's get started. First we need to clean all the non-positive elements. So for index n in enumerate nums, if n is less than equal to 0, 0 doesn't count as a positive element, so we have to get rid of all of those. Then we will set nums of index to 0. So we're reassigning all the negative and 0 numbers to be just 0. Okay, now we need to start flipping numbers into negatives. For n in nums, if oh no, not if. So we need to find the index now. So index would be n, the absolute value of n minus 1, and then we need to check if index is greater or equal to 0 and index is less than length of nums. Yeah, so we're just making sure index is inside our input range from 0 to length of nums minus 1, so we don't get a out of index error. So we're just error handling right here. So we just make sure it's in the range, and if it's in the range, if the value at that index is a 0, we have to make it negative, but we can't make negative 0. So we will just make it negative 999. Elif nums index is less than 0. So if it's a negative number, then we do nothing. So we could just make it, we could adjust our if statement, so if it's a positive number, then we make it negative. We don't want to make negative numbers back into positive numbers, so we will just leave that case empty. And then we have to find the first positive number and return as our answer. So for n in nums, if n is greater than 0, greater or equal to 0, and we'll just return the index. So let's just do enumerate here. So we'll return the index plus 1 because our indexes are starting from 0 when they should be starting from 1, so we'll just plus 1. And if we can't find a positive number here, then we will just return our last possible answer, which is length of nums plus 1. And I got the example test cases here. We will run that, and it works. I submit, and it works. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Peace out.